everybody, Dr. Shook here. I hope you're all doing well today. So I am really excited to share a concept with everyone that I think a lot of people don't realize is possible. And there is a very exciting future for all of us as far as it comes to health and longevity and even performance and vibrance as we age. I want you to consider and I want you to contemplate the idea that we are currently in a time where age rejuvenation, where anti-aging and longevity is being aggressively researched. This is something that people are planning, and I believe rightfully so. They're planning for a life up to 150 and even beyond. And that may sound science fiction to you. That may sound something that is outside of your realms of belief or your perception. And I want you to suspend that disbelief, because there are a lot of ways that scientists, researchers, and quite frankly, some of the brightest minds in the world are looking at changing our definition of health and of longevity, looking at the aging process as a disease process that does not have to occur, and working on keeping our bodies healthy and actually reverse aging. So there are some very exciting things, and I want to share with you some concepts on how this is being achieved, on the direction that this is moving in. And this is something that I've been, the time that I've been over the past 10 years, I've been studying functional medicine, which really tries to look at the underlying drivers of disease processes. And you can apply that to the human body when it's in a state of unbalance. So the unbalanced state, that's what I've been working with traditionally, because I started in an unbalanced state. I started in a state when this became something that I was concerned about. I was in an unbalanced state where my body, I had psoriasis. Autoimmunity was terrible. I felt bad. There were all kinds of issues. So I was in this state of unbalance, and I was searching for answers. And the only answers that I could find were answers of managing the symptoms of this unbalance, but that it was going to progressively get worse throughout my lifetime. I did not accept that answer, because I know that the body is always working to self-heal. It's always working to reach homeostasis or balance. And so I was like, why is my body in an unbalanced state? Why am I not in homeostasis where I have normal, optimal health? I feel good. What is causing me to go in reverse and be in an unbalanced state? Okay. So that started the journey of researching and trying to figure out why I was not healthy, what was going on. And that led me into functional medicine, which is trying to understand the mechanisms, the biochemistry, the drivers of disease processes at the core, so that at the root, so that you can work on the drivers of this unbalance, and you can actually work on the mechanisms, the things that are causing the problems that are preventing you from living a healthy life. Just homeostasis. We're not even talking about an optimized system. Talking about just get me back to normal, so that I can function in society, so that I can feel okay, so that I can sleep, so that I can have energy levels, so that I can participate with my family. So that's what started me on the journey. Now, so what I discovered was, for me, there were a lot of dietary and lifestyle factors that were really tearing my health apart and preventing me from reaching homeostasis. Well, through this journey, I've continued to research, I've continued to learn. I've learned as much as I can about not only taking a system from unbalanced to balance, or to homeostasis, to get me back to normal, but I'm also very much interested in optimization, very much interested in longevity and performance, and how do I get as healthy as possible. And this is where it is very exciting. I mean, it's very exciting just to be able to go from not being well to just being being able to function normally in society. That is very exciting. That's very exciting in and of itself, because a lot of people that have been labeled with with the disease process, with Hashimoto's, which I've worked a lot with Hashimoto's, with autoimmunity, with with metabolic issues, with diabetes, type 2 diabetes, with a lot of the chronic degenerative disease processes that we're labeled with that are believed to be autoimmunity is not necessarily just a disease of lifestyle, but lifestyle factors often play a huge role. But things like type 2 diabetes and a lot of things are believed to be more lifestyle driven, and none of them are purely lifestyle. There are always other factors that are overlapping that contribute to the expression of an unbalanced state of a disease state that you have to try to intervene and change so that you can reach optimal. You can reach homeostasis, which is just normal functioning again, where you're not labeled with a disease. In medicine today, unfortunately, that's not the focus because there are so many diseased and sick people that the doctors only have time to focus on how can I manage the disease state so that they don't die quickly. And that is a really fortunate to have those perspectives, but we need to tell people that there's more. We need to be able to say, look, you're in a disease state. Here are the things that we can do as interventions to help you now, but here's what you've got to do to get out of this state of unbalance or of this unbalanced state where your body's not functioning normally. You have to change your diet. You have to change your lifestyle. These are things that you need to do. Here, take these, go. And, and give people the information and the knowledge that, hey, this is something that very likely you can significantly improve. Here's the information. Even if the doctors don't have time for it, we need to arm people with the belief and the information that there is something more for them than being constantly strung out on a medication to manage a chronic disease process that may be manageable through diet, lifestyle, and some other things that we're going to talk about. Because many of the disease processes are able to be moved closer in this direction with some of the things that we're going to talk about. So let's talk about some of the specific interventions here that we're seeing help people go from unbalanced to balanced to homeostasis, and then from homeostasis to optimized. Okay, so I've broken these interventions into different levels because this is really how I look at it when I work with people clinically. This quite frankly, in today's world, this is dependent primarily upon financial resources. That is just the way it is. It's the same way for me. It's the same way for my family. It's the same way for everyone in today's world. Now, we need to change that because these things, I think, need to be integrated into what we would consider the standard of care, and we need to figure out how to make all of these things available to everyone. But in today's world, these are all really segmented more into, less work, lower financial, investment, to more work, more financial investment, to significantly more financial investment. It's just the way it is. It's not of my design. It is just what it is today. So level 1 interventions to go from unbalanced to homeostasis. So a system that's not in balance to a system that is in balance, that is normal functioning physiology. The things that that personally have helped me, and where when I'm working with people, these are the first things that we look at are diet, exercise, and lifestyle. So these are things that have to become optimized. You have to honor the body's normal rhythms, and you have to the diet. A lot of times when we're working with people that are autoimmune, we put them on whole foods diets, primarily diets that remove a lot of the grains, that have them eating root vegetables, protein, such like meats primarily, and then also getting into a lot of good vegetables, lower some fruits, but really more of like an autoimmune paleo type of diet is a good diet where we start a lot of people. Now, there are other ways to intervene here. I don't personally think that you should stay on one diet forever. I think that your diet should vary. I vary my diet throughout the year, and I think that is more of an optimal kind of with the changes of the seasons. Depending on where you live, depending on your genetic background, that's probably your diet and what you do may vary some. Exercise. Movement is critical for life. If you're not moving enough, there are going to be so many systems of your body, so much physiology that is not optimized. You have to move. You have to move. And movement doesn't have to be I have to go perform, a crazy, interval training program. None of that. It's going to be different for the individual. So it might just be, sitting in a chair and moving your arms and for a period of time, doing something very, 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 very moderate, very, very low intensity, or it might be those high high intensity interval training that needs to be done. Lifestyle's huge. The number one lifestyle factor that has to be optimized is sleep. Number one lifestyle factor. If you're not sleeping, if you're not moving, and if you haven't focused on optimizing your diet, if you don't take your health seriously enough to do those things, then it's going to be very difficult to move from unbalanced to homeostasis. Very difficult, if not impossible. This is what I call level 1, and this is pretty much trial and error. So you can take, it's a great start. You can take a plan and you can implement a plan that is like a canned type of plan that is designed to give you a framework that you work off of. This is a great place to start. However, it is trial and error. It is not bio-individualized. So it is not looking at you as an individual. This is just like reading a book, right? A book or an online program. That's what this is. So this is a good place. This can actually take, and I've seen this take people into homeostasis and close to optimization. So really a very good state of homeostasis. They feel much better because it depends on what your particular problem is. I mean, you probably, if you ask yourself, what am I not doing right in my life, in my daily routine that is limiting me from having good health? You probably say, I'm only sleeping 5 hours or 6 hours a night. I'm not going to bed at the same time. I'm waking up at all different times. I stay up on the weekends, and then I stay up through the week, or I try to catch up with my sleep on the weekends. That's not how it works, guys. That's not how it works. So your lifestyle. I'm not exercising. I eat a terrible diet. You probably have an idea of where you have some weaknesses here. But I've seen when this is really taken seriously and focused on, you can move into homeostasis in a lot of cases. Now, not all, because there are often limiting things that you may not fall into these categories. But we'll talk about that in a second. Moving into homeostasis and maybe even close to a state of optimization. Now, level 2 is where you're going to have to get into laboratory testing. You're going to have to get into biometrics monitoring, so looking at your actual physiology in real time and monitoring that to get you as healthy as possible. So this is actually using data to guide where you're going, to take you from, to uncover these specific factors that are contributing to unbalance, to being unbalanced, to have an unbalanced, suboptimized physiology. This is using laboratory testing, again, biometrics tracking, to take you from a state of unbalance to homeostasis. And I've seen this. Now, this is a process where, typically this is done in a clinical environment. This is what we do with people primarily that we work with. We do detect, remove, and repair. So what we do is we take a very in-depth health history, very in-depth online health history. We look at a tremendous number of factors, symptoms, diagnoses, and then we, as part of the detection process, we determine what type of laboratory testing would be most appropriate to help us uncover any type of issues that might be limiting or keeping the physiology in a state of dysregulation or unbalanced. And then how do we get them? By detecting those things, we then will focus on removing anything that might be limiting or impairing physiology. And then we work on repairing any damage to the system, to the human system, that may be limiting that movement from disequilibrium or unbalance into homeostasis or normal physiology. This is a very quantitative approach, so using numbers. So we will do blood tests, very extensive blood tests. This is not your average blood test. I mean, none of the things that we do at this level. This is all about really going very, very much in depth and looking in detail at the foundational physiology of the immune system, the foundational physiology of your just the body in general. So looking at when we look at complete metabolic panels and we look at hormone panels, we're looking at quite a bit of what we might consider more routine types of tests. And then we go into more detail with immune-based testing, because a lot of times when people are in this state of unbalance, they have problems with the immune system, where it's reacting to food proteins, or there are pathogens that are that are persistent within the GI tract or within the body. So we do pathogen panels, which include viruses, bacteria, fungi, parasites. We will look at chemicals. We will look to see if there are chemical immune reactions, to see if the immune system is reacting to chemicals, so that we're trying to understand anything environmentally that might be triggering an inflammatory response within the body, because that is going to create major disequilibrium and take you to more of a state of unbalance. It's definitely going to keep you from homeostasis or optimization. It's going to accelerate aging. It's going to create oxidative stress. It's going to create a lot of problems for you. So we detect, then we focus on, once we've identified those things, removing. What type of strategies can we utilize to remove these things that we've identified or to optimize them? Then we focus on repair. So how do we repair the system? So we would look at the immune system as one of the major focuses here, because a lot of people have issues with the immune system, even if they're not aware of it. And so when we focus on repair, we're focusing on establishing balance of the immune system. We're focusing on repairing the barrier systems of the body, the GI barrier, the lung barrier, all the blood-brain barrier. We're looking at these barrier systems because they're an essential part of the immune system. And if you're going to optimize your health, you have to move. And this is critical for, I don't really care what type of disease state you're in. This is, in my opinion, the best way that we can work up diseased states or states of unbalance and move people closer to homeostasis. This is what I do with autoimmunity. This is what I do with people that are high-performing athletes that want to go further. We do very similar approach. You have to investigate the foundational physiology. So we're looking at blood panels, stool panels, hormone panels, immune panels. We're going very much in depth there. This is very bio-individualized. So this is unique to the person. You have to understand what's happening with you as an individual if you want to be very specific with the interventions that you take and have the best opportunity to move from unbalance to homeostasis, and then have the opportunity. You have to be here to move into an optimized state. Okay, this is very specific. Okay, so this is level 2. Okay, this would be level 2. Level 3, and this is something that we coordinate. We coordinate. We help people because I do utilize other clinics to assist us with some of these other therapies here at level 3. So level 3, I think this is where it gets. This is super exciting. This has been exciting for the past 5 years, 10 years, and this is getting better and better and better every year. So this is super exciting. The things that we can detect, remove, repair, what we can do here at level 2. Level 3, this is where we really start to incorporate looking at genetic polymorphisms, the uniqueness of each individual, and trying to understand probability for what type of factors, what type of environmental inputs would be best. And we call those environmental inputs the epigenetics, the things that influence the gene expression. What type of environmental inputs might be most beneficial for you as an individual? That is where we really start looking at genetics. So then and this is important to understand, that this is probability. When you run these reports or you have genetic testing done, it does not tell you what's happening. It gives you the probability of what your genetics are. So that's very important to understand. It's probability. It's not set in stone. So if you see, all these gene uniquenesses that are called polymorphisms, and you read some kind of report that tells you, what that gene uniqueness means, it doesn't mean it's happening. It means there's a probability that it could happen. Probability doesn't mean that it's happening. Okay, so that's important to understand. But genetics can help to guide us and give us a better idea of what might be most optimal for you. Then the next thing here, level 3, is advanced supplementation. So really looking at nutritional supplementation is actually part of level 1, part of level 2, and part of level 3. Advanced supplementation is where you might go more in depth with your supplementation. You use some supplements that would be a possible use to help with cell sustenance, to help with some other things that aren't as focused on establishing, let's just say, homeostasis. Really, that might be focused on longevity and taking you further into an optimized state. So advanced supplementation is definitely part of level 3. Also, regenerative therapies. So as far as regenerative therapies go, this is where I think we are really going to start extending longevity, extending health, reverse aging. So this is where you see the arrow goes to optimized here. And that's because with regenerative therapies, we're talking about things like peptides. Okay, if you don't know what peptides are, this is going to redefine medicine soon, in a few years. But peptide therapy is going to be a huge factor. Stem cells and other regenerative therapies, stem cells, exosomes, these are all things that are going to help us repair our tissues with, by using regenerative cellular therapies, or the messengers, the chemical messengers produced by stem cells, like exosomes, that are going to signal our tissues to repair and reverse age. Then you get into also some hormone therapies, but peptides are basically pieces of hormones. So you could think of like a hormone like growth hormone, and it has what we call a pleiotropic effect. So it will affect multiple systems. One hormone will affect multiple systems. But if you take growth hormone and you break the growth hormone you break it into individual pieces, like a particular part of the growth hormone itself will have a specific receptor-specific expression. It will create a receptor-specific expression of that within the body. Okay, so instead of it having multiple effects on multiple systems, if you take the one part of growth hormone that maybe, let's say, increases muscle mass, or another part that increases bone density, and you break it apart from the growth hormone itself, that's a peptide. You could take that one specific peptide or part of growth hormone, you could use it to increase muscle mass without having the other stimulatory effects of growth hormone. That's peptide therapy. Okay, so stem cells, exosomes, hormone therapies, these are things that are absolutely the future, and that I think offer us some tremendous hope for even taking unbalanced systems into balance. This is where level 3 is really changing. And then I don't have it here, but I should note this: focusing on optimizing the brain and body electrical physiology, I think is also a very exciting thing. So you might be aware of things like biofeedback, where we're trying to use interventions and ways to train the electrical system of the body and the brain. This is also a very, very exciting area. So there's technology, there are things that are coming that are amazing. But so all of these things will help you to get to homeostasis, and then from homeostasis to optimized, you really have to look at some of these other levels, I think, of care. Now, there are things like that you can do naturally that I can't. This is not all encompassing. The list is too big. But there are things that you can do to optimize the human physiology, like exposing the body to heat, hyperthermic conditioning, things like sauna therapy, right? That's a very, very good one that has tremendous benefit to the physiology of the body. Things like cold thermogenesis, exposing the body to cold temperatures that stimulate brown fat adaptation, that convert your white fat to brown fat, which has more mitochondria, which becomes a metabolic powerhouse for the body. It's a different, it changes the tissue. It's fantastic. So there are a lot of things that can be used that aren't these external types of therapies, but this is where we're really changing what it means to age. So it's exciting to me. It's very exciting, and I think that this is the future of healthcare. If you have any questions about this stuff, just ask, and I'll do my best to help you out here. But I wanted to share this with you because this is the future. This is how you should be thinking. This is how you should be thinking for yourself. This is how you should be thinking for your kids. This is how you should be financial planning. You should be thinking about, hey, what's the world going to be like? What's my next career? What's my life going to be like? Change your perspective on what the future is going to be like, because it's coming. A lot of it's already here. Okay, so if you need help with this, if you have any questions, let me know. If you would like to get started with any of these diet and lifestyle, like level 1 things, we've put together programs for people that have autoimmunity, because that's what I've worked with for 10 years, dealt with it myself. We've got programs that can help here, just guide you. Our transformation program is perfect for that. If you want level 2 help, I do work with people via telemedicine around the United States, across the world, to help them with putting this into with determining their bio-individualized approach. We can help you with this remotely. And then we can also help you with level 3. Now, with level 3, what we're doing is, I'm partnered with and I know of a lot of clinics that can assist us with regenerative therapies and genetics and advanced supplementation. So we will help to coordinate this. But this is a process that we recommend. I recommend highly that you're aware of, and that you consider going through, and that you really do your best to focus on changing your life for the long term, because the future is here today, and there are a lot of things that you can do to help put yourself in the best position to make the most of these therapies when you're able to take advantage of them. But anyway, I do appreciate you all. If you need any assistance with this, please do let me know. I'll do my best to help you out. You can go to fitbody50.com to start any of our exercise lifestyle programs. We have a lot of information on the advanced topics I've talked about, as far as hyperthermic conditioning, cold thermogenesis, sleep optimization, stress optimization, brain optimization. We have a lot of those things available as part of our FitBody 50 membership program. But you can go there. We have a lot of different exercise training programs for any beginner, intermediate, and advanced levels. You can, I can, and I do work with people one-on-one. So if you're interested in that, you can learn more here. But if you have any questions, please do let me know in the questions and comments. I'll do my best to help you out. But I do appreciate you hanging out with me today. I hope this has been helpful at changing your perspective, because I think it's something to be very excited about. It's something to be very optimistic about. And this is really an exciting time to be alive. So I do appreciate you all. Hope you have a wonderful, wonderful day, and I look forward to talking to you again soon. Thanks.